Welcome to the Heavily Altered Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode 10. I almost said 9. Episode 10, Gamers Edition.
Naimur, I'm just
cheeky
asking,
little gamers.
Naimur, I'm just asking, when you said welcome to, did you have to add the space between them? Just did you have to?
Welcome to?
You said welcome to.
to.
Just asking, did you have to do that?
I don't know.
Is this a question about free will, or are you curious?
Did you have
Well,
to?
I usually say ladies and gentlemen, welcome to. But then
Well,
I said welcome to, which kind
why
of
didn't you do
threw
that
me
this
off my
time?
groove.
Well, it's been perfect before. It's been perfect before.
Yeah, Naimur,
why didn't you do that this time?
we have a script for every episode, and you just keep going off script, and it is very upsetting. I specifically wrote, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome
Ladies
to."
and
No
gentlemen.
pause. No pause.
It's
welcome to.
It's so easy.
Well, guys, this is a
I'll be the first to say,
gamer edition
this
podcast.
bit was a miss.
Oh yeah,
This
for
be-
sure. That's
this
why I'm
bit was a
moving on
miss.
to the fact that this is a gamer edition podcast. So, does somebody want to explain what that means? We're just gonna be
Comedy 1, us 0. So,
I don't get it. Are you drinking chocolate milk?
Like, yes, I am. Thank you very much.
You guys can still hear me, right?
It's as brown
No,
as
we
you.
can't,
Okay. Because
No,
I said
Luke,
something
this is
and
the other
everyone
podcast,
just
not the
ignored
Gamers
me.
Edition one.
No, this is the gamer spot. Oh, I get it.
No, Luke, you can't be racist on this one. You have to be racist on the other one.
Yeah, Luke.
Gotcha.
Well, hold on. But aren't gamers generally racist?
This is not our
This-
side. Dude, I got
no,
a
he was-
trending... Speaking of gaming, I got a... Like, you know how... Does Reddit give you the notifications for, like, a trending subreddit that you, like, look at and, like, tells you, like, a post about it
No, I turned them off.
or something?
I turned them off.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I have mine still on.
I wish I turned it off. I don't know how yet.
Go to settings
Yeah,
and just
well,
turn
mine-
off all the notifications.
That's true.
Yeah, anyway. I was looking at, like... I've been looking at a bunch of gaming subreddits, like the Cyberpunk one, the... just leaks and rumors one, gaming leaks and rumors, and I looked at the GTA 6 one, which is just that, and then I got one saying trending r/gaming. I was like, oh no, it's just stupid. Because isn't that isn't that subreddit like a joke now? Like people don't take it
kind
seriously.
of. I've heard that
It's
is.
not even like truly. It's not truly games or anything like that. It's
Y'all
just,
should
like,
check out. Y'all should check out
Yes.
the. I've said this to y'all before, but that might have just been on a FaceTime. You should check out the Cyberpunk Low Sodium subreddit.
I think the Cyberpunk 2020 or Cyberpunk game subreddit's like, well, the normal one, like they're not really crapping on it anymore. Like they might show glitches and stuff, but like it's just like, oh, like look at these screenshots I did. I was like, I don't care that you have photo mode. We all do. I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay.
This might be an unpopular
That's fine.
opinion. I'm not a big fan of the photo mode in Cyberpunk. That might just be because I think the camera moves too slow.
Haven't
and you
used it
can't
yet, so
I think it's just because the camera moves too slow.
how do you even use the
That's not
camera?
idea. Well, the idea is, you just take a photo. You don't. You're not supposed to do a video.
No, I know.
That's
Like,
what you do.
camera.
That's not what I mean. I mean the camera that you can like move your point of view with.
But you can also change like the third person and stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe
What?
the third person, like you could change it to a third person view. So
No,
you
I
can show
know
your
that.
character.
I know that. I'm saying that like the drone.
Well, clearly they like. I'm pretty sure they probably rushed that, just like everything else. So it probably wasn't as.
yeah,
great
he's probably
as
right about that.
We expected.
They probably were like, we're gonna have a cinematic drone camera that you can move around and take pictures of anywhere in the world.
That's an extremely common thing in games now, is to have a photo mode.
Obviously.
Yeah. So
Well,
I'm
not
just,
well. I haven't seen any non-PlayStation games have a photo mode. Every game I
Red
put
Dead
on-
2, Red Dead 2, all the Assassin's
that's a
Creed
very-
games,
but don't
all
you
the
have to,
new
like,
Assassin's
bring a
Creed
camera
games.
out?
No,
But don't you have to have a camera?
you don't
out?
have to. No, they added it in an update, but you don't have to. All the next gen
cool.
Assassin's Creed or all the Assassin's Creed games since Origins, which came out in like 2016 or 17. And I can only assume more.
Yeah, I used to have a lot of. Or I used to use the photo mode a lot in Last of Us, the first one.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That was pretty cool. One of those photos I took was like my phone background for a while,
Yeah.
and then
I
I
remember.
mean, I think it's genuinely a really good thing to have in a game because you do get a lot of like cool shots, and there's like, a lot of games nowadays are intentionally trying to make things look good, not just oh, it's fun to play and the story
Yeah.
is great, but also just it generally looks good or realistic or any of those things, and so you get a lot
Dude,
of like potential backgrounds and stuff like that.
the thing I hate so much about photo mode is mainly on PlayStation. No, Xbox, I don't hate this at all. On
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation, dude, when you click the share button, which is when you're supposed to take the photo,
Mhm.
there's no way to just like email it to yourself. You know, like keep it.
Yeah,
like,
you
it's
have
in
to
your.
go
It's either
through.
in your system or you have to upload it to Twitter, or just like share it on your feed.
Hmm.
Like you
Mhm.
can't just like
Is
you
there no
can't
like?
just send it to yourself.
Is
you
there no
have to-
app like
well-
the Xbox?
Maybe there is. I just don't use it.
Okay.
Maybe
Fair enough.
I don't know. But also like the only like relative idea I did once, or like the best option I had, I just put a flash drive in and copy the photos onto there. That's all I could do. Like,
That's
dude,
so
that's like,
funny.
what is this?
Yeah.
That's like 2010 level stuff. Like, come on. It's so.
Mhm.
You should be able to
annoying.
like send it or save it or like save it to your
Maybe there is
account
an
and
app.
then download it on the app. Like, yeah.
Yeah, like I don't
Mhm.
want to upload this on Twitter with your stupid template, like audio or like text, where it's like,
Mhm.
look what I did playing blank game on my
Or
PS4.
AirDrop. Do they not have AirDrop? Could you not
That's
AirDrop?
Sony. That's obviously not gonna work.
Yeah, I know.
Bro.
It was a joke.
Again, comedy 2, us 0. So every time you guys make a bad joke, the score comes up. So let's not make it.
Well,
okay,
I'm
well,
just
Naimur,
saying,
every time you
I'm-
make a joke,
Luke,
I'm just
Luke,
saying-
watch your
absolutely
words
zero
carefully. Luke,
sarcasm.
watch your words carefully. It's about to be comedy 3, us 0. So be careful what you say. Dude.
yeah,
I'm
Luke,
just
just
saying-
be
I
really want
careful.
you
We
to
don't want to
think of
lose.
what you're gonna say.
I'm just saying, Tenet.
All right, so that is
I'll-
comedy 3.
No, no, no.
Zero.
I'll give him a pass because you could. It's ambiguous if he was being comedic or not. So,
Well, the fact that he's
laughing.
laughing makes me think it
It's
was
also
intentionally.
it's also ambiguous. It's also ambiguous if I actually said that.
Guys, if you want to hear
Or
us
if
talk
I-
about Tenet, check
or if
out
I- We'll
episode
talk about Tenet in the
11,
next
which
one.
we haven't
Or if I
recorded
came
yet.
back, if I came back from the future, it came
Us
from
from the
future.
hey, that's kind of actually really funny though. The fact that we say we're gonna talk about it in episode 11, yet we haven't recorded it yet.
Y'all ever
Just like Tenet, where you
To
do
their
things
knowledge.
that haven't. Okay, anyways.
whenever you're
This
playing a game,
is.
Mhm.
whenever y'all are playing a game, do you ever like just play for too long and like piss yourself?
I've
Gaming
never had that
4.
problem, dude. Sometimes when I'm
So-
in the when I'm about to start a mission, I'm
Comedy
like,
4, us
do I need to
0.
pee right now? Yes, I agree. Comedy 4, us 0. But I do genuinely like, if I'm playing for too long, I'll be like, oh, I'm about to start a mission. Oh, I need to go now. Because sometimes
what
I'll
I'm
put it
saying.
off. Sometimes I'll be like, I'll put it off. But I never want to stop in the middle of a mission. So
And Daniel, you know how poorly I can control myself. After the
Comedy
incident in
5.
our dorm room,
Comedy 5, us
Daniel
0.
has
Luke
laughed.
peed all over the
Daniel
floor.
has laughed.
Actually,
Daniel has laughed at both of the last jokes I made. So I think it's more like comedy.
but
3,
Luke, you and I
us
have a
2.
similar sense of humor where it's just like you could say gibberish and it would make me laugh if it was the right context.
Yeah, it's not very
Yeah.
difficult to make Daniel.
Yeah,
laugh.
it would make
That's why
you
I-
laugh.
Yeah.
So I should not be the referee. Naimur's the referee here, and according to him, it's comedy. What?
I will
What's our
judge-
score?
I will.
What's our score?
Comedy 4, us 0. Comedy
Hey,
5.
we can
us
at least come back at the halftime. Okay?
Maybe.
After the
Maybe.
halftime.
Maybe.
Wait, when is halftime?
I doubt that's gonna happen.
When's
Well,
halftime?
Halftime?
30 minutes into the
It's-
podcast,
Wait, which
because
podcast?
every quarter is 15 minutes.
Which podcast? Sorry, I'm just doing a
Wow.
Daniel impression because he's stupid. Get
Dang,
it?
That was
Comedy 6, us 0.
no bullying 1, us 0.
Oh my god. Let's talk about video games. Let's talk about video games.
Hey,
This is
that's
not the
I'll give
comedy
us
podcast.
1 for that. I'll give us 1 for that. So
Give us one for
us
what?
1, comedy 5.
Wait, no,
Oh,
wouldn't
I
it
made
be
Luke laugh.
wouldn't it be bullying 0 us 1? Because we. No, wait, that wouldn't actually.
No,
make
no,
sense.
we
No,
were
'cause never
bullying,
mind.
and we didn't win in that
Oh.
situation, Luke.
Yeah, bullying defeats us all. Nobody
No,
wins.
you're right. Yeah.
That was.
Don't-
hey, if
don't
Luke's
bully
audio
kids.
dropped there for two hot seconds there, it's because he almost dropped his mic and it probably sounded like
it's because my
thunder.
foot slipped. My foot slipped off something and it hit the music stand that my microphone is precariously balanced on.
Guys, let's actually get to
Okay,
some
can
video
we talk
games.
about games now? Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you,
we can
thank
talk
you.
about games.
So we were talking about photo modes. Yeah, so photo modes is a cool aspect, but
Mhm.
you know, it's just like I don't know. Cyberpunk, like the people that make it. Okay, the people that like post their photo mode stuff, like cool. Like I'm not gonna discount that. That is pretty cool
Mhm.
when they do certain things. But like
Who
I just there's so many
cares?
that I don't really care.
Who cares?
There is at times where I don't.
There's a ton where it's
But-
like, this doesn't even look good. Why'd you take a picture of this?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
or it's
hate
just a
those.
close up of a NPC's face or like a character like Judy or something.
yeah.
Right.
I don't care.
I can look at
And
her
then,
face on my own time.
Like
Thank you.
wow, graphics, wow, cool.
Mhm.
Anyway, and then but Ghost of Tsushima is a little bit more interesting because like each island and stuff, like just the use of color in that game is so
I
beautiful.
know.
It's so varied too. So like all those photo mode things, I would genuinely look at because they were really nice when people would take them. And like I think one of them used to be a background of mine. I really liked that too.
Mm.
I don't
I
know.
took
think photo mode
my
can be
the current background on my computer. I'll show you guys. On my computer is a photo that I took. I'm gonna send it in the.
Oh, I've seen it. I've
took
seen it. I've
yeah,
seen it.
Daniel's seen it.
I
Naimur
was like,
hasn't.
I was just thinking about it. Luke, you want to describe to our audio listeners what?
Yeah, it's like
audio
it's like
listeners.
An old,
I did it again.
freaking
I'm
idiot.
such an idiot. Everyone.
It's like an
everyone
old
would have this.
filter, old timey filter of Arthur Morgan walking down some steps, and it just looks cool. I think.
From Red. Dead.
Naimur, I sent it.
cool.
Yeah, I sent it in the
Yeah, I saw
server.
it.
Yeah. So Daniel can
He
superimpose
saw it and he
on
didn't
the,
like it, and
Daniel,
now he's
Daniel
not
can,
going to say anything. About
Daniel
it.
can superimpose it on the screen right now,
Superimpose.
Yeah.
and then he can also add a photorealistic image of me mounting my Xbox Series X.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you got
And
the Xbox Series
Daniel
X.
was also
wait, didn't we
doing-
already talked about that? We can't.
We
talk
did
about
already
that.
talk about
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Daniel's also writing a CG rendering of Comedy 6 Us 1. It's the running score
Here,
right now.
If I have enough patience,
Actually, it's more like-
I may
actually-
add a score counter in the bottom.
Actually, it's actually more like Comedy 0, Luke 6.
No.
All right, Comedy 7 Us 0. That one really landed,
Yeah.
Luke.
This is working though. I think this is really making us question our humor. If like what we're saying really has any value. to it.
Yeah, I think eventually we'll realize that we can't keep losing. Oh wait, it's Us 1. Remember we made the bullying joke?
Yeah,
so
I already
technically
counted
we have
Us 1.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
it's Comedy 7 Us 1.
So
Speaking
let's
of
talk about-
bullying,
Yeah.
speaking of bullying, this is a good segue. So
it's not. It's not.
speaking of bullying,
It's
apparently
not
there's a
good
leak
segue.
that confirmed. Can we stop talking, please? It's my moment to shine, Luke.
I'm just saying it's not
Mine.
a
Mine.
good segue.
Anyway,
Just
speaking of
saying.
bullying, Rockstar leaker or accredited Rockstar leaker has said that they actually canceled Bully 2 in 2017 to work on Red Dead Redemption 2 and Grand Theft Auto 6.
So they were
So, I think-
going to make it, and then they canceled it, and somebody leaked it recently.
Naimur, did you ever?
Well,
Naimur, did you ever play Bully?
I played the first one at a friend's house, but
Okay.
I've seen gameplay and stuff like that.
I
I
never
watched
did.
the PewDiePie playthrough of it.
Mm-hmm.
It is very interesting, very cool. I think a lot of the mechanics in Bully, like you might not know this, Luke.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think Red Dead adopted a lot of that. So like like the whole greet and antagonize thing.
Yeah,
In Red Dead.
I know.
that,
I know.
like,
I know
that's
about that. Yeah. It's like
Yeah, that's like a
complementary insult
Bully
or whatever.
trait.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a Bully trait. Like you could do that. So basically, for those of you that don't know, Bully was a game made by Rockstar who made GTA, Grand Theft Auto, and Red Dead Redemption. But except it's like GTA. It's a very simplified way to say this, but it's like GTA except the protagonist is like is a middle schooler in a private school, and the private school is the open world. So that's a very simplified way to say it because it is much more than that. Genuinely, it's much more creative than that. And like all the systems in that game, like I think Grand Theft Auto copied a few of them. I don't remember the exact ones, but the thing that's primarily for me is like the interactivity with people in the game is like one of the precursors to Red Dead 2 or Red Dead Redemption
Yeah.
2. So I think
Well,
that's
isn't
really
it
cool.
just like a great example of like trying to make games more open, and it's like kind of the precursor
Yeah.
to a lot of open world games, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think a lot of people
But
like,
most open
a lot
world
of people
games,
say
because of
it's
when it
better.
was made.
you can't.
Sorry.
Most open world games, you can't interact with anybody. So I would say specifically, it's a precursor to Red Dead in that sense.
Sure, yeah, that makes sense.
I
Because
think
in,
it
in
was
those two
genuinely,
games,
yeah.
in those two games, you can interact with any NPC you want.
See, like every Rockstar game, at the final part of the Wikipedia page, it says, despite initial controversy for its expected violence, homophobic, and sexual content, Bully received positive reviews, with praise directed at the game's missions and narrative, as well as the characters and their development. So it's
Yeah.
like,
See, you know what's
Clearly
funny
it
is there's no. like there's no doubt in my mind that the people who make GTA 5 genuinely enjoy the satire that they have to create because they're put in like because there's just people out there that criticize them for things like that where it's like, well, this game is extremely controversial because it is violent and it's for middle schoolers, or like, oh, GTA 6 is, not GTA 6, but GTA 4 is, turning violent actions into a fun game for kids to. Anyways, I just feel like they probably enjoy making fun of all of these companies. I mean, why would they keep doing it?
Maybe
but
they
also,
should
like,
just, guys, I'm just saying they should ban rated M games, but then they just make a black market for them.
I'm sure that's like that now.
Because get it? Because that's like the gun control thing.
Gun control, yeah.
Because
we gotta stop making this our pop culture podcast. This is
it's
the
not
gamer
pop culture.
podcast.
It's politics.
Well, I've told you all that. Like Hillary Clinton, when she was a senator, she was like one of the main proponents against video game violence, especially and just like just crudeness in video games. Because when San Andreas came out, there was I think I don't know if they took it out before the release of the game.
Was it the torture scene or the sex scene?
No, this is San Andreas. So it's like there was this thing called the hot cop. Torture scene was not in San Andreas.
Well, that was in 5, right? That's what I was asking. Was it one or the other?
Yeah. So basically, in San Andreas, like there's a dating aspect of the game. It's pretty in depth. Like it's pretty surprising that a game that came out on the PS2 in 2004 was as in depth as San Andreas. Like with gaming, like you could argue Cyberpunk's not nearly in depth with that stuff. So
I did like the Cyberpunk
a couple weeks ago
romance though.
We can talk.
That's
about
like
that.
that's super.
Yeah.
It's super simplistic though to me. Like you talk to the person flirtily, and there's only 2 options per gender type. Sex type.
Well, there's only really one option per sexual preference. Depending on if you're
that is true, yeah.
bisexual or pansexual, then you have more options, obviously. But
yeah, so it's like it's really weird. You think, and then the funny thing. Okay, so I'll branch off topics a little bit, but for Cyberpunk, there was this. It had controversy a long time ago, or a year or 2 ago, because there was this poster. It was basically like a trans person, and it said "mix it up," right? And they had like body augmentations and like these like robotic stuff on them too, right? So it was kind of like playing at that "mix it up." It got a lot of hate for it, right? Because it was transphobic to a degree, and then Cyberpunk was like, or like the developers were like, no, like we're like standing by this because this is like showing the world of Cyberpunk. They're sexualizing these people, for profit and all these things, right? This is everything that the world of Night City stands for, and it's like a message on capitalism, all these things, yada yada. And like now, when you think about it and you're looking at the game, there's none of that really. Like those like ads and stuff like that. It's just like no, there's no point, right?
Yeah.
And like I don't know. I'm gonna let me know, Daniel. Can I say dildo?
Sure. I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
I don't know.
As long as you don't like overly sexualize it.
Okay, so basically in the game, there's like an abnormal amount of dildos around, right? It just serves no benefit or purpose or anything. There's no commentary. It's literally just there. It's like stupid.
Can we also talk about the fact that like a vast majority of the shops and stores, the places that you can actually go inside of, are just sex shops or those like brain dances, which are places you can go and.
I mean, it could be considered commentary. Could be considered commentary.
But it's
sure,
not.
But
Though.
it feels like
it's a simple form.
Luke,
but it could.
I think it could be, but it feels just like laziness, and I think you understand that.
Yes, I do agree. But I'm just saying,
or it was rushed, right? We talked about how.
I mean, it definitely is. Saying it's not satirical, though. Saying it isn't satirical, I think is
sure. But if it was
false.
satirical, then they'd be everywhere. You know what I mean? It's just like
well,
they're in certain places, and when you can go in, it always is that. But there's like lots of places where there's nothing to visit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like that message.
And you can't even buy anything from them. So what's the point?
Yeah, but then that message, of the what the poster's supposed to invoke, it's nothing. It's just in the game. Like they don't like do anything about it. Like,
they're making it out to be
whole
like
idea...
the game has a bunch of satire written into the story and the characters and the dialogue.
I don't think satire is the word.
Does. Or not satire, but just like political
nuance,
messages.
Probably.
Yeah, exactly. That's
nuance
what I mean.
And
it's like it's nothing like GTA where when they have a message, they commit to it and you can find it throughout the whole game. It's like if there is a message that they're trying to tell, I
Well,
don't
I
know what
think-
it is, and they're just
think
telling
there
a
could be.
story.
I think there could be messages and
I think
I
there
think it's
are
grasping
messages,
at
but I don't think there's
straws.
one large consistent message that they like display in everything that you do. Sure, there's
It-
like
yeah, it doesn't-
anti-capitalist and blah blah blah, but I mean,
It doesn't feel like there's like love and care and like depth put into these ideas. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like for the most part,
they don't
I think the
explore
story
them
itself-
in an
yeah.
interesting way. Yeah.
Yeah.
like the nuance to a lot of this stuff is not there. And who knows? Maybe that's because of cut for time's sake. I'm sure, probably. But it's like, you know, they argued so much about like this like defending this like this poster that's basically transphobic, and then it's just there's really no purpose to it. Like it's like if you had taken it out of the game, it would not have enhanced or it wouldn't have made any difference at all whatsoever.
You
I
wouldn't
just
have
looked at
even
the
noticed.
poster. I just looked at the poster. I don't really. Why do you consider it transphobic? 'Cause I don't. Or it doesn't look transphobic
Well,
to me.
a lot of people think, at least people that are in the transgender community, they thought that, you know, it's a little bit offensive. You know, mix it up. It's the connotations. Yeah. So
Yes.
It's like I think I'm not trying to speak for anyone, but it almost comes off as like, oh, you know, being transgender is easy as mixing it up. And for a lot of people, it's like this is like something they have to deal with. It's a problem. So to like, first of all, to capitalize on it, to be like, oh, our game, you can be whoever you want, and it's like to almost like push an agenda like this game is also for transgender people. I'm not saying you shouldn't.
well,
do
it's
that.
like
Like, you
it's
shouldn't include
making
those
light
people,
of
but-
a subject that is very
Yeah.
sensitive. You know what
I
I mean?
suppose,
And
yeah.
and when you do that, you better make sure that you're doing it in a well adjusted, nuanced way. And this game just doesn't do that. So I think that's why it's a bigger deal too.
Yeah.
To me.
I think that's
Like, it doesn't
that's
have
a
an
much better way of
outgoing
wording
message,
it than
truly.
where I was going. So yes, that's what I was
Yeah.
trying to get at.
But I also think like its representation. Well, again, I'm not trans or anything like that, or you know, I'm not. I'm straight and I'm a male, so obviously my opinion probably is at the lowest of the totem pole when it comes to this stuff. But
Well, no. But Daniel and I are straight white males, so that puts us below.
Oh,
you.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
so,
that-
we're lower
little-
than you.
yeah, exactly. But I do think what was that quest? What's that person's name? I forgot.
The racing one.
The racing ones, yes.
Claire.
Claire.
Yeah, Claire. I know
Claire.
what you're talking about.
Okay. Do I say they or her? Is her pronouns her, or is her pronouns?
pronouns are her.
She is transgender.
Okay. Okay. Just making sure. Because I don't know if it said it somewhere. I just didn't notice or pay attention. But yeah. So she is like they don't even like the story itself doesn't even like touch on the fact that she's transgender like whatsoever until like maybe like a small detail later on in the
I mean, that's what I like
game.
about it. That's what I like.
Yeah,
about
and
it.
I thought that was
And
cool.
I've
you know?
told,
It's like
I talked about this before about the Expanse, is that there aren't gay characters. There are characters that are gay.
that happened
So
to
there
be
aren't.
gay, yes.
Yeah, there are
Yeah.
trans characters.
They're not
there
there
are
to
characters who
be-
are trans. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not there to be a gay character or the trans character. It's like
exactly.
what do people call it when you insert a character like that into like a movie?
Queer baiting?
Tokenism.
Tokenism, but
Or-
there's like another word for it. I don't even know.
It's not queer baiting.
Yeah, I guess you're right, Luke.
Yeah.
It's like a token character. That's what I was thinking. Where you have it's like we have our token character. You know, the person who's gay, the person who's. It's like they don't make that person into that
Yeah.
in Cyberpunk.
Yeah, and I really liked that. You know, I thought that was
Yeah.
cool. But the thing is, that's like the only true representation. Like, you know, they don't really care. What's that dude's name? Carrie. Like Carrie. Like yeah, that was cool. Like he was happy to be gay.
Carrie.
You know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well,
But
Judy's,
like it doesn't.
Judy's a lesbian as well. You got that.
Yeah, but like the thing is they don't actually have that much fluidity when it comes to sexual orientation. When it comes to
Yeah,
those characters,
that's
right?
what I didn't. That's one thing I didn't like is that.
It's like you'd think in 2077 in a cyberpunk world that has clearly departed from the regular world and has evolved greatly, that they would be past the concepts of like, you know, just gender and, you know, like the fluidity and sexual
Oh,
orientation.
well, I
It
wouldn't
even
say
be an
that.
afterthought.
I wouldn't really
Like
say
everybody
that.
would be pansexual is more.
I wouldn't
likely
say
than
that. I mean, it's only
I don't
50
know
years
about
in the
that.
future.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
This is also a game that has departed from reality in like the 1800s, like in terms of the
Sure,
history.
but I
viewpoint.
think people will forever have preferences. I don't think
Yeah.
that will ever go away. I
don't
understand
think
what you're
that's gonna
saying though.
change.
I think gameplay or functionality wise for the game, it would have been more fascinating if you could, you know, explore relationships with more characters. Even if
Yeah, I just wish
it
there were
didn't
more
necessarily make
characters you
sense
could
with-
romance, even
Exactly.
if they
That
made
too.
it, even if it was binary.
But they
or-
also don't give their preferences or orientation like out there either. So it's like it's really confusing. Like if you don't look up a guide at how to romance,
Well, no, they
sure.
just
Yeah, you
reject
wouldn't
you.
know.
They
wouldn't
just
know.
reject you, which is more realistic if we're being honest.
but they should give a reason. You know, just like I'm.
Or I
They're
don't.
just
Do they
trying to,
reject
they
you,
do.
or I don't
They
think
just
some
turn
of
you
them
down.
just
They
don't
just
give you
turn you down.
options. I think some of
No,
them
they
just don't.
no.
give
They
you...
all give you an option to kiss.
Hmm.
If you do it,
but then they're just-
if you pick the right option through their quest line, they always
I see.
Yeah, they always give you
Well,
an
I
option
think,
to kiss
Namer, I
them.
think the benefit of doing it that way is it doesn't feel like they're like. It's almost like
Yeah, I don't mind that.
you
I
don't want
I
to. You
personally
never
don't
want to
mind that.
assume somebody's sexuality, right? So to like, to almost like brand themselves as that would just kind of like if they're like upfront, like the very first thing you find out about them is that they're like lesbian or gay or they're
Right.
straight.
That's
or
what I
blah,
was
blah,
It
blah.
is more
It's like-
nuanced.
Yeah.
Here's
You
the
see,
thing.
I don't mind that the
don't-
characters do have sexualities. I just wish there were more characters you could romance.
Sure.
Okay.
In a way,
Yeah, I
in such.
think
I wish
that's
there were more characters you could do quests for in general.
Listen,
like well written
I
quests
do-
like that one.
Yeah.
This is not a hill I'm willing to die on.
No,
What
yeah.
I, think
I-
is,
those
I
ones.
just think when you combine this with the fact that the whole idea of mix it up, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
you know, to put it on a non-transphobic spin on it would to be like, oh, it means this. It's like kind of normalized now being trans. It's like the same
Be
as
who
changing
you
your body
want
part.
to
Like, it's
be.
not as
I
big
feel
a
like
deal.
be who you want
who
to
you
be
want to
would
be.
be such a better message than mix it up.
Anyway,
oh my
yeah.
god,
Right.
it's so fun. Yeah.
No, but
Sorry.
like that's like an advertising thing, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the I guess if you were to put a good spin or take on it, right? So then, like, you know, if that's what they're clearly trying to put in, like, no, like, you know, it's normalized being trans, and it's normalized because you can also it's like as easy as changing your augmentation on your body or anything like that. It's like, okay, cool. If you're doing that, then like I think sexual orientation should also be in the forefront for that stuff too. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense.
I
to
guess
me.
I
It just
guess
doesn't
maybe
feel like there was that much
world-building-wise,
thought
that
and
might
effort
make
to
sense.
it.
Yeah.
It just there's not much thought and effort into that stuff, which is just kind of a shame.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But, you know, it's no biggie.
That makes
I
sense.
guess for
Yeah.
me, obviously for me as a straight.
Well, I
you
will.
know,
Here's what I will say. It does.
I do feel bad for the.
It does
other
feel
people.
stiff that your options are just 4 characters, each
Yeah.
have their own specific target audience. Where it's like you have the female who is for the lesbian audience, you have the female who is for the male
Yeah, that's
straight
why-
audience. You have the
that's why I
so it
wish
feels very
I-
stiff in that regard. Yeah,
That's why I wish
Yeah.
there were more that where they could explore more options like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's like I thought.
So
I
I
thought
just-
Claire seems like she should have been a romance option, right?
Mhm.
I don't know
No,
if that's just
I mean,
me.
I'm fine with it.
No, I am
No,
too because it ended
yeah.
up being good. But like, I just feel like a lot of stuff about her was cut. I don't know about you, Namer, or
It
Daniel,
was a
because
little
y'all have
abrupt
both
her
done
quest
it, right?
line.
That's what I'm saying.
Her
I'm saying
quest
I think it
quest line's
could.
super
I think.
abrupt.
But
That's what I'm
I
saying. I
enjoyed
think
her
it was
quest line.
cut.
I think we all.
No,
did.
I
It
loved
was
it,
Just,
yeah.
yeah.
But I think she was at one point a romanceable option, but then they cut it. They cut
It's
a lot.
possible. I wouldn't
Well,
doubt that.
I don't think personally. I don't think it makes sense for her character. You know, her husband dies, right? So
Well,
it's
that
like,
could have been something they
she
changed.
doesn't really
But
love
then,
anybody
yeah, but
else.
how do we know they didn't just add that? Because they
Okay,
had
but
to
now
cut
you're
out.
just speculating. See, Luke, that
No,
you
yeah,
can't
we're
use that
just
as true evidence.
speculating.
No, I
We're
am
just-
just
yeah.
speculating.
Yeah.
But I'm not
He was
saying I'm not.
speculating from
there's
the
like,
beginning.
Okay, then what if they wanted to cut? What if they wanted to cut literally every single
You know,
character? except
Keanu
one, Luke?
Reeves was
How about that?
actually a romanceable character from the very get-go, but then he wanted a bigger role, and he wanted his romance scene taken out.
And he also didn't want his penis to be shown.
Are you being for real? I can't tell.
Obviously, I'm joking.
They
All right,
actually-
comedy 8, us 1.
Well, that was actually only no. That was
Yeah.
I don't know. That game's just with all the lies they told us, you know, and just how much they were like, this game is so in depth and the systems are so out there. It's just so disappointing.
Hey,
looking
for all
back
we
on it. The
know,
more and more
for all
I-
we, I'm just saying, for all we know, they believed it.
They're
I don't know.
like, God, you guys don't think this is a good system? I'm confused. The cops just appear behind you when you're wanted? That seems natural.
Guys, it's the future. They can do that now.
Dude, like literally, Grand Theft Auto, a game that came out in Grand Theft Auto 5, a game that came out in 2013, has a much more difficult cops wanted system.
I know.
than
Yeah.
Cyberpunk,
Yeah.
which came out in 2020. So it's like, how? I don't understand.
And it has a
that.
better UI design. We've talked about this before, but when I was watching...
Rockstar
I
is
still
very
don't think, I
minimalist,
don't think
though.
Cyberpunk's UI is that bad.
it's just hard for me to read. Like, now I know what
The menu
everything
system-
means. But
Get
it's-
glasses, idiot.
yeah, I
The
have
menu system.
glasses.
I'm just kidding. Get zoom
The menu
ins.
systems.
Yeah.
The menu system is a little annoying, but everything else is not as bad.
I just
So
don't
think,
like.
the
I don't
HUD's
like
fine.
the. We've talked about this before. I don't like the cursor
Yeah, we
in
don't.
any
Yeah,
game.
the
in
cursor's
any game.
annoying. Yeah,
But
yeah, but that's just the way they do it, which is
Yeah,
is
I
dumb,
know.
So, but
We could talk about
I-
Cyberpunk forever. I don't...
Cyberpunk. What do you? Oh yeah, I want to talk about my gripe. I don't like the story's like actually really short. Like people
don't
say it's
mind
like
that.
30 hours. Like bro, I think you can finish that in like 15 to 20.
Mhm.
I don't
That is
mind
not
that.
that
I
long.
personally don't have an issue with that.
The main quest. I don't know. I
Yeah.
just felt like there'd be a little bit more. Like, I don't know. It's just like maybe another quest or two. It just didn't feel right. It was just so short. I didn't expect it to be that short. You know,
I mean,
I knew it was gonna be shorter,
I'm not
but I
trying
didn't
to
think it was gonna be
spoil it,
super
but if you
short.
really think about it, you have the intro, which is the prologue, and then you have like maybe like 3 or 4 main missions, and then the ending section.
Yeah.
Feels kind of
Yeah,
like
that's super short, dude. Like, come on.
That is
like
short.
sure
but
you
I
have
still- I
sure you
still
have
don't-
like options along the way of how you do things, and sure some of those missions alone take hours. Like it took me a long time to break into the Arasaka Industrial Park or whatever, just because I kept messing up and stuff. But like,
idiot.
just I kind of agree with Namer here, where it's like I understand that they like focusing their attention on like diverse side quests, but there's no reason you can't also have a strong, you know, nuanced, extremely long main
Yeah.
quest. You know, I don't know.
Well, the main quest
And they've
wasn't even
had
that
so
bad.
long.
Like, I thought it was
we've talked
cool.
about that.
No, I thought it was.
Yeah.
I don't know about y'all, but I think the
haven't-
main
I
quest
haven't finished
was
it,
really
so.
good. Was really really good.
Let's
But,
not talk
story
about it
itself
too
was
much
good.
because we don't want to
Yeah.
spoil like our end thoughts podcast.
No. Well, yeah.
I don't know how they're gonna do DLC for it. I assume they'll just take you back to like right before the point
We'll
of return.
we'll argue about that later.
I mean, you can't really argue because none of us will win because we don't know what their plan is.
Well,
once we
Luke
see
thinks
their
the
plan,
canon ending is
eventually
the
we will
best
win.
ending.
Eventually,
No, but he
we'll
thinks
win.
the DLC. He thinks the DLC will work with the
No,
canon
I think-
ending. Like,
I think
it'll
it
be
will.
post
because
ending.
it did
I
in,
don't think it will.
they did that in The Witcher.
Maybe.
They did that in The Witcher.
I don't know, man. We'll see.
I have no
I
idea.
do not know.
I don't know what the endings are, so
But-
I can't even be in this argument. So
The
Daniel,
We're gonna move
I'm
on.
just gonna say one thing. I'm
no,
very
you're not going to
disappointed that-
spoil it. You're not going to say
I'm not gonna-
anything for
no,
me.
I'm
You're
not-
not going to
I'm-
say
this is-
anything because you're going to spoil it for me, and I'm not.
This is
I'm not
actually
gonna
a
listen. I'm going
negative
to take my
spoiler.
headphones
I'm
off.
actually going to spoil what doesn't happen. I've said it before. I'm very disappointed you didn't get to nuke Night City in the end. Extremely.
Oh yeah,
disappointed.
you've already told me
I was
that.
looking. That was
That
the
was a joke about.
number one thing I was looking forward to.
That was the joke.
number one
'cause
thing.
Fallout 4 does that, right? Doesn't Fallout 4?
Well, Fallout 3.
No, he does
Fallout
the
3
Institute.
does. Yeah,
you
you
can
can
nuke
blow
the
up
whole
Institute.
city.
No, in Fallout 3 you can
No, you
nuke
just the
Megaton,
Institute,
but that's
but-
it. I just
That's
want to
not
blow
a
the
whole
fucking
city.
I
What?
just want to blow the fucking city. I just want
Why'd
to
you
do
say
it.
the F word twice, bro? Oh my god.
I just
Okay,
want to
anyway.
do it.
He
No.
just wants there to be two options, and he wants it to be either blow up city or not blow up city.
And I
For
want
people
those,
who don't know,
those,
we're complaining about Fallout 4, like we said earlier.
I want
like,
those.
it-
I want those options to be at the very, very beginning. I want those to be the first choice you make in the game. Blow up city.
What?
Don't blow
I think
up city.
people are confusing choices with binary options. So like Rockstar, I think has become at the brunt end of that, right? Like you'll see at the ending of GTA 5, Luke. Like it's a very, very binary option.
No, I know. I
And
know what
then-
happens at the. I know, like you have to make a choice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a binary choice, and one of them is clearly the best of the three that you choose. Just keep
Yeah.
that in mind. And then, like even Red Dead to a point, like it's literally like go after somebody, don't go after, or go for this thing or go for that thing. And it's like only like
Yeah.
4 or 5 times in the story it does that. And I mean, maybe you get a different ending or something, like in some of the regards, but yeah. So like, I think the binary options of choice is like crippling games. Like it's really annoying because it's like a facade of choice, right? Like it's not truly.
Yeah.
Choice
See, I just
given.
wish. I wish in like in Red Dead or like in GTA, like you said, I wish they would just do one or the other, just make you do them. But then the one we've argued about this before, Namer, but the one at the very end of Red Dead, I think worked well, because I think it should have.
I don't have a big issue with that. It's just like whatever. This is like kind of annoying.
Because I think I
it's a
personally
last-minute
think
choice.
I personally think it should have felt like a choice for Arthur.
Maybe
Just
but
based
I
on-
the story itself does not dictate. Like, see, here's the thing. I hate that Red Dead is like, it basically marketed Red Dead 2 primarily marketed itself more so as like this. I mean, it's less linear in terms of the choice making and stuff. Like, it marketed this thing like you can interact with the world and they look at you differently based on if you act good or if you act bad. But the overall story arc of Arthur just does not facilitate a bad side to him because he's basically bad at the beginning and he becomes really good through his actions primarily, right? Like, it's
But
just,
then,
it just
Namer,
doesn't
if
make
we're gonna
sense for that.
if
Through
we're
the main
gonna
story.
if we're gonna go through that, then why even have an open world?
I mean, you don't really need
For
to if you're making a
exploration's
Rockstar game.
sake.
Yeah, like if Rockstar decided to make Naughty Dog games, like I wouldn't have the biggest issue with that.
You could have
But, like-
entirely linear quest and yet still have an open world, and the entire point is just exploration. Right?
Yeah,
So I mean,
but
I'm not. I'm just
This
making
is the
that
biggest
argument
problem.
because I don't have a whole ton of info on Red Dead. I just want to
Yeah.
put that out there for.
Well, this is just Rockstar in particular. This is the biggest problem with Rockstar Worlds is that they've gone into a much linear path when it comes to storytelling, but a much more wide open path when it comes to the open world sandbox aspect of things. So, like, I mean, I think they kind of changed it a
Because
little
it's kind
bit.
of
Like, again,
easier if you think about it. You just have to create a really big world with a lot of
well, it's more
detailed
basic.
areas. More basic
more
in the sense
basic
that
for
it's
sure.
easier to make, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then like
See,
I think they
in
did
Red
do a better
Dead-
job from 4 to 5.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Luke.
I was gonna say in Red Dead, I don't think you really never mind.
Never mind.
Luke's
Okay,
just
okay.
really
Well,
trying to
good point.
defend that game to his death. He's like, there's nothing bad about
Yeah,
Red
you
Dead
can't take-
ever. You can't
I used
say
to be
one
like him.
bad thing about it.
No, I agree. There are some.
No, I'm
some
joking.
not-
I'm
there are
messing
some unsatisfactory things about it. Just gonna state
I'm
it.
messing
He
with
can't
you.
deal with the single flaw about the game. I used to be like that. I used to hear people talking bad about it, like, "Oh, it takes too long to travel." I was like, I don't think that's a valuable.
You don't
criticism, or
understand.
that's a
The
good
world is
criticism to have.
supposed to be immersive.
Yeah, see, they could
Or
have
it's
just
like-
added a fast travel system, but I personally prefer the no fast travel.
Sure, I
Even
just
though
think
use
the
fast travel
option
in
is
every other
probably
game.
better for like.
No, there
to
is an
include
option now,
more.
though.
Well,
There is an
that's
I think
option
just
now, though.
gamers just think too highly of themselves. They're just like, I can't be seen driving this far to there.
I drive quite
really
a bit in
pressing a
Cyberpunk.
pressing
Yeah.
a trigger, or like using a stick and pointing it at that direction for 5 minutes. Oh my god!
And there also
this
is
so
like an autopilot
boring.
mode in Red Dead.
Yeah, exactly.
feel
It's
like-
like, dude,
I feel like they should have like said it in like a tutorial or whatever. Not a tutorial, but in the tutorial section.
Mhm.
the cinematic
didn't.
mode. I mean, that's a thing, but it's kind of glitchy too because sometimes you'll just run into people, and it just stops it. It's super
Mhm.
funny when that happens.
Or, like
Right.
if you hit by a train.
Yeah, I think it's like I had no problem with the traversal because it's just so beautiful to look at. Like if you just
Oh,
like
yeah.
look at the world,
Mhm.
it's like, dude, it's like, wow, how is this game real? To this
I
day,
know.
I don't know. It's like even with GTA 5, like looking at that now. I mean, granted they did like enhance it for the Xbox One compared to the 360, but I had no idea. Like, how I still am astonished that they made that game for the 360.
Yeah, I
Like
know.
how? I still do not know
Yeah.
how they did that. Like that game is beautiful on the 360
Mhm.
and it's beautiful on the
And the
Xbox One. That
I
game's
want to
7
say
years old.
this: the detail. It's not like it's very like pixel perfect detail. Like if you look at some of the characters, they're kind of just like
They're all stiff, I think.
they're a
All
little
the
stiff. But
characters.
the world
The
itself,
facial
just,
models are a little dead.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
the world
Even
itself just feels
even
really
just the
yeah.
actual movements of the characters, I think, are kind of
Nah,
stiff.
dude. No, this is where you're wrong, man. Because I think that like with
The
GTA, because
ragdoll.
I played GTA 4 recently, and then I played GTA 5.
Mhm.
Like the animations for walking and all this stuff is so much better. It's like
Well, just
night and
because it's
day
better
difference.
doesn't mean it's not the best.
It's a remarkable improvement. And
that
then,
doesn't
I
mean it's
Rockstar-
not. That doesn't mean it's not like fantastic. that
Here's
doesn't
a
mean it's not
question.
still
It-
an issue.
no, it's good though. It's genuinely good though.
Do you
I
guys-
think
No,
it's
it is
'cause it's a
good.
lot more
I'm just saying.
realistic.
I'm just saying they are stiff. The character models are pretty stiff.
I think they're stiff because the facial models. Hold on, Dan. Let me just.
Okay, you guys
sorry,
finish
I
this
didn't mean to interrupt
argument
you.
because I have a question related to it that I think will clear up your
Yeah.
guys' argument.
I just think because the fact they did mocap for GTA 5, and I think that's a change from 4 to 5. That's why 4, like the animations are a little
He
bit
means
more
motion
stiff.
capture, by the way.
Yes, thank you. And like, so the motion itself is better. Obviously, not as good as Red Dead because Luke, I just think you're spoiled by Red Dead because there's over 300,000 animations for Arthur.
Probably.
So that's probably why you're like, obviously Red Dead's way better. Yeah, because it came out 5 years later. But and then, like, I think the biggest issue is just the motion, the faces. If you look at the faces, like, let's say you go into first person mode and look at the people in the car and they're talking, it just looks so dead because their eyes
Yeah.
look so dead.
No, I do
Like,
agree
it's
with
just
that.
so stiff.
I definitely agree with
So
that.
that's because they didn't capture their face performance. And I think that's how it's going to be different for the future games because like look at Last of Us 2 and 1. It's like night and day
Mhm.
difference because they
You can see
actually
you
did
can see
model the
emotions
faces.
on people's faces,
Yeah.
right? I was gonna
Yeah.
ask.
Mm.
Oh, what you guys
Yeah,
finish
go
up?
ahead, Dana.
I was
No,
just
no,
gonna.
I'm done. Go ahead.
I was curious because we were talking about like stiff body motions and sometimes faces just don't look correct. Are we gonna reach a point where there's like an uncanny valley in video
We have already
games?
reached that.
And I
We've
think
already reached that.
I think the
I think
the
we've
point
reached
that
it
we
already
reached
and exceeded
was,
it.
I think the point we reached it, and for me, I don't know why it is, but Detroit Become Human reaches that point for me.
or you just can't stand it because it's just
It's
too
not
weird,
that I
or
can't
it's just
stand it,
slightly
but
weird?
it's this weird middle ground where it's like when I
Yeah.
watch people play it, because I haven't played it myself, the graphics look so good that it's like real people, but then it's also just you could just barely tell that they're not real people, and it's just uncomfortable almost for me.
Yeah.
But that's just nitpicking. I don't know.
That's probably
I
the thing
almost-
with Avatar, the movie. Not to stray too much away from gaming, but the Blue People movie.
Yeah.
It's like when James Cameron talked about making these creatures slash race of individuals. I don't know what to call them. They're humanoid, but like he was just saying, designing them is like you have to reach that uncanny valley. And he like talks about how much in depth he was thinking about this, but like I still don't think he does a good job with the uncanny valley aspect of it because they just seem
I just think
so
that movie,
weird at some
I just think
points.
that movie is overrated.
No, Luke, I love that movie. I don't care. Yes, obviously the story's super simplistic, and it's a clear allegory for colonialism and all that crap and imperialism, but it's so fun to look at.
I'm
And
just
it's
saying.
awesome to
yeah,
watch.
I've never
it
seen
looks nice. It looks nice, but that doesn't mean it's a good movie.
We're talking about Avatar: The
mean-
Last Airbender, right? Sorry.
Okay, but then we can play this game. It's like, what constitutes a good movie, bro? Like, it's a good movie for different things. I think it's a very entertaining movie. I think it's like a Marvel level movie.
I'm
Like,
not-
I don't see the difference with that.
Yeah,
But
I'm
I don't
not
think-
saying
is
that.
it like
and I'm
a-
also
Sure,
not
it's
saying,
entertaining,
I'm also not
yeah.
saying. I'm also not saying that Marvel movies are good movies.
Ooh, that's a hot take. Yikes. He said it, not me.
Marvel. Okay, Luke. Let's make this
To
differentiation.
be fair, I'm
for
also
people.
not saying. I'm also not saying that they aren't good movies. I'm just saying.
Dude, Luke is just
Yeah.
being devil's
Luke and
advocate.
I have
with
this
me
thing
today,
though.
bro.
Luke and I have this
Jeez.
thing where our favorite movies are different from our best movies. So our
Yeah.
favorite movies are often the most entertaining, generally, not all the time. While our best movies are like the most well-crafted movies. So we kind of differentiate between that. And I think a
Yeah.
lot of people don't. They're just like, "Oh, my favorite movies are this, this, and this," because they enjoy movies.
And then people are like, "How can you like? How can that be your favorite movie? It's so simple." It's so
it's like,
simple.
of course it can be your favorite movie. That is an entertaining movie to watch, and Luke and I can recognize that there are some movies that are just fun to watch, but then there are also movies that are just like interesting and beautiful to like study and look at and stuff like that. And that's
Yeah.
All right,
Exactly.
movies.
Yeah.
Back to gaming.
Back to
So-
gaming. Well, this is a gaming podcast only. I'll
And
have to
that
cut
also applies
out.
to games. That also applies to games.
That's true
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
I can agree with that.
You can have a
I like-
favorite game
Red
that
Dead-
isn't the best game you've ever played.
Red Dead was my favorite game for a while, or I thought it was like the best game I've ever played,
Yeah.
but I don't know if it's my favorite. 'Cause-
Both are Red Dead for me right now.
Yeah, it used to be for me for that too, because
Yeah.
2018 was just such a good year for video games.
Mhm.
But now I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
Last
I mean,
of Us
Red
story
Dead,
is just so
GTA 5, Last of Us Part 1 and 2.
good. No. Comedy 10,
All right.
Us 1. All right, that was a miss.
Are we at 10?
2018
Maybe.
did have a great year for video games.
Yeah.
2018 did have a great year for video games because
Mm-hmm.
Red Dead 2 had come out in October. God of War PS4 edition, or just PS4 God of War, came out in April or May, something like that.
Mhm.
And then Spider-Man came out in September. And then I think there was other games that were there. out too.
Spider-Man Miles
like the three-
Morales.
No, not that one. That was
Not
Comedy
yet.
11.
Not yet.
Us,
Not yet.
us one.
Spider-Man,
Plus one.
Spider-Man Caucasian man.
I'm sorry. We're really
know,
not winning, guys. We're past the halftime point, and we are still losing.
Where are we?
45
We're at
minutes.
45 minutes about.
Wow.
Time
Flies when time
Well,
flies
this will
when
be
you're
edited,
arguing
so
with
it'll
a
really be
Muslim.
43 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, I think Red Dead. I don't know. I'll probably have to play it again because I'm finally at that point.
And I'll
where I
have to
haven't
play
played
it for
in,
the
like,
first
fully 2
time.
years.
I can't wait to
Yeah.
See, I'm very curious.
I
very
think you
curious
guys will-
for it, 'cause I think you will enjoy it.
I was gonna say, I think you guys will enjoy my opinion of it,
Oh yeah, I think so too.
just because we love talking about this kind of stuff. So it'll be fascinating to actually be able to like talk about it with you guys. So
Daniel,
I'm
if I
excited.
were
Luke's
you-
definitely.
Mm-hmm.
if I were you, I would wait until the summer to play it so that you can play it
Yeah,
like all in one go, basically.
yeah. I don't
You know.
know.
It doesn't matter, bro.
It depends on
I
how
think
much
it.
time
I think
have.
it kind of does.
It's,
It
it's
doesn't matter. I beat it in the span of a month during the school year when it came out, or not even.
Mhm.
Yeah, it
But then
was about a month.
he's also only coming home on weekends.
just
You could have
just
played
get
it
your save
every.
on a
You
flash
could play it
drive.
every evening.
well,
Oh, yeah.
if we're
Well, this was
gaming
in
at
high
the
school.
if we're gaming at the room. I'm joking.
Yeah,
I don't
gaming
know.
with the boys. You could always just. I think it cloud saves your save file. So
It's fine.
You
We'll
just log into
figure
Luke's Xbox.
something out.
Yeah, but
I
I'm
don't
not.
know.
I'm not bringing an Xbox to UNT until next year.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not bringing
Yeah.
it this
No.
Yeah.
semester? Okay.
No.
Well, I don't know. It's not like Daniel's not gonna be gone that often. I don't think the game's like it's that like amazing where you're like I have to play
I
this
just
every
think you
single day
should.
for the
I
next
just
4
no.
weeks.
I'm not saying that.
to
I
just
just
finish.
think you should play it all in one, not all in one go, but
It'd
without
probably
being
be
Maybe.
easier
I don't
for
know.
me. I'm very bad at like balancing like anything else. and
Daniel's
things that
very
I
bad at
enjoy.
keeping up with things while taking a break from them. Like when
Yes.
when he watched
Thank
the
you,
first
Luke.
season of Game of Thrones and then we went canoeing for a week and he didn't pick it up again.
Luke is
And
so
the funny
salty
thing
about that.
and
He
the
is
funny
so
thing is-
salty about
And the funny
that.
thing is, he loved it, and then he just never watched
He
it
didn't.
anymore.
He didn't love it. Dude.
I
He just
enjoyed
liked
it a
season
lot.
two.
He liked it a lot.
I think it was long. It was certainly longer than
it was
probably
10
needed
episodes.
Yeah, once you can get past
But
the
each
first like
episode's
3
just
episodes of Game of Thrones, once you get past like the first 3 or 4 episodes where they're just explaining the entire world to you,
Mhm.
it gets a little bit better.
Look.
Season 2 in of itself is a little slow, but then season 3 is also a little slow, and then season 4
Well,
though.
the ending of
four-
season
Okay,
3, though.
let's talk about
The
games
the
again.
ending of
'cause this is
season
our
3,
gamer
though.
podcast.
games again.
But this is
Okay, well,
Game
so-
of Thrones.
So I didn't get to talk about this last week. And it's not like
Oh.
this is pertinent information.
Comedy 12,
not like
us
this-
1.
Shut the fuck up.
Yes. I really hope we will look at the scoreboard today and realize we're not.
I'm gonna
that funny.
cry.
And that our little bits that we do are not actually good bits. So I think
Guess we have to
finally
stop.
understanding that. No.
Yeah, you
we
do.
should just quit.
We should just
Should never
quit
talk to
comedy.
anyone.
We should just
Hey, guys,
quit podcasts.
Quit while we're ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
But we're behind.
But
I'm a little bit confused.
Hey, Comedy 12, us
we
two.
are okay. All right, enough. We're getting sidetracked. We're wasting time.
Yeah, but we.
So
can
I just want to talk about the
games.
Grand Theft Auto 6 leaks. It's not like it's pertinent information because
Mhm.
these are just leaks. And I just read them from the GTA 6 subreddit.
Mhm.
And oh, dude, the thing that annoys me so much is when people on the internet pretend like they know what they're talking about. I maybe not pretend, but they think the information they know, and like they just know fact. Super annoying because I saw like a Twitter post that someone it was like I don't know, some account was just like I don't think it was a reputable account, but either way, it was just like apparently there was a leak that confirmed that Grand Theft Auto 6 was beginning early pre-production in like 2015 or something like that.
Mhm.
And so, and then he said, so looks like it might come out. His estimate was like it might come out in 2022, 2023, that time, giving it like 7 to 8 years
Mhm.
Mhm.
of development
Yeah.
cycle. And then someone commented very recently, it's like 7 years. Like I don't think a game should take longer than 5 years to develop. That's too
Yeah.
much time. And then someone's like, dude, like come on, like Cyberpunk had 8 years of development. Look where that got it. And Last of Us had 6 years of development. It's like,
Mhm.
bro, or Last of Us Part 2 had 6 years of development. I was like, you guys are, or like that dude is a moron, dude. Like literally, Cyberpunk did not develop it for every day for 8 years.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think we have said this probably
They
early
don't
on.
even
It's
know
like,
how
yeah, especially-
pre-production works and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they announced it in 2013, way too early. They should not have announced it that early,
Mhm.
in my opinion. Should have announced it at least after Witcher 3. But they announced it in 2012, okay? And they literally had nothing.
Mhm.
And so they had a small team working on this game while everybody else was working on Witcher 3. And after Witcher 3 was done by 2016, like all of it was done, and they went to Cyberpunk 2077, they basically scrapped everything that they worked on in pre-production. They started
Yeah.
from the beginning in 2016 to 2017. And so they really only had maybe 3 or 4 years of development.
Yeah.
Not to
best.
mention the. Have we talked about this on the podcast? The potential like rewrite of the story, like a year and a half.
Oh
ago?
yeah, so there's like rumors saying, so I saw another leak. Apparently, it was from a supposed CDPR employee, CD
Mhm.
Projekt Red, the developers
Yeah.
of Cyberpunk, and he said that apparently like they were constantly like he said like someone was asking like does this mean they changed the story like halfway through development, and he
Mhm.
said oh big story changes were happening like almost once every 2 to 3 months, stuff like
Wow.
that. Like clearly they were not.
So I think that's
not, like,
why
changing-
they had a lot of problems getting the final
Mhm.
product.
Yeah.
Because if you're constantly changing the
Exactly.
story, you can't like.
Yeah, every 2 to 3 months. And so the speculation is that Keanu Reeves joined in 2019, but in 2018 they said they were done with the story. So clearly they didn't envision Keanu Reeves doing it. And then Keanu Reeves actually had a smaller part, and he claimed that he wanted more in it because he just liked the game so much in the universe that he wanted to be in it more. And so they were like, okay, let's have Keanu Reeves in. So they basically probably changed the story a lot, especially because his character Johnny Silverhand in the demo in 2018. Like, there's a radio thing that says he died the year before. But in the actual game, it says he
Mhm.
died, like, 50 years prior, like in 2013, something like that.
Yeah.
Or 2020, it might have been 2020 from what I remember. But yeah, so clearly they changed something, or they just didn't know what the story was going to be when they did the demo. So something happened. Anyway, I digress. So like, and then with Last of Us, like, yeah, they started, like, Neil Druckmann started writing the story after Last of Us Part 2 or Last of Us 1 in 2014. But the way Naughty Dog makes games is they have a small team working on a project that's like a couple years out, like way beyond the future, and they have a bigger team working on their current game. So at that time, they were primarily working on Uncharted 4. Okay? And then once they had finished Uncharted 4, they started working on The Last of Us Part 2. So, like, clearly they, like, yeah, it might have been 6 years, something like that. But really, it was probably, like, maybe 3 to 4 of full development. Because when they revealed it in 2016, like, Neil Druckmann was like, yeah, this is very early in development. Like, I'm not even going to say anything about how much progress we have. Because I don't want to give people's hopes up. And, like, even in 2017 or 18, he said it was only 50% done. So, like, clearly, like, nobody understands game development. But the thing that annoys me so much is that people think their information is fact. Super annoying, dude. Super annoying. But yeah, anyway.
God, I
these
hate
leaks,
gamers with a capital G. They're the worst.
I just hate the internet at times.
You know what I
No,
think
I
is? You know what I think is capital F fact?
What?
GTA 6 will die of cancer.
Yeah, for sure.
You think the ending of GTA 6 is just... Wouldn't it be funny if GTA 6 is just the entire plot of Breaking Bad, but as a video game?
I know, right?
Naimur did say it would be about cartels.
Yeah, did we want to talk about that a little bit?
Okay, yeah, so I was going to talk about the leaks primarily.
Yeah.
We'll talk about this for, like, the next 10 minutes, towards the end, or by the end of the podcast. Sure. So, again, grain of salt stuff. This is just based on leaks that happened in 2018, 2019, and stuff I read from GTA r/GTA 6. So clearly, nobody knows the truth. Because the game is not
this could all be lies. We could just be lying to you right now.
It could actually be set in Canada.
Yeah, for real. Like, nobody knows. So the theory was that it was going to be made in Vice City, because that's the third world, or the third city that the 3D trilogy took place in. And basically what Rockstar is doing with this trilogy, well, at least with GTA 4, they basically made a HD, super advanced, bigger rendering of Liberty City, their version of New York. And then in GTA 5, they made their own, like, enhanced, ginormous, in-depth version of Los Santos, which is, like, basically LA, but is also the LA aspect of GTA San Andreas, which San Andreas basically combines Nevada and California. It's a state. Yeah. So San Andreas is still the biggest map by far, I think, in any game, or in any GTA game. But a lot of it's just, like, you know, like, desert.
What is the biggest map in any game, do you know?
There's some games from, like, the early 90s that are way bigger. But it's, like, again, it's just flat plains. Like, it's
incorrect.
Yeah, it's not
incorrect. It's Minecraft.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. Okay, I'll give us a 0.5 on that one. That was good. That's good.
That's 2.5 for us. 12 for gaming or comedy.
Yeah. Dang, he's really. I thought it was a 1.5.
No, it's
this
2.5.
is so stupid. I hate this. This shouldn't count. Largest map of any game, No Man's Sky. That really shouldn't count.
Oh, that is so stupid.
It's a random
That is
generation. It's like you wouldn't put Minecraft at the top.
Fixed map.
Okay.
Yeah, put fixed map.
The one that came up for me is Fuel, which is.
Yes.
Fuel. Oh wait, this was in 2019. Hold on, let me try and find a.
Just Cause 3 is pretty high up here.
I saw that.
It is pretty big. But again, that game is like the exterior. Okay. It's only exterior. There's no
you're right.
This was in December 2020. But then Just Cause 3 had a really good map too. Like it was really varied and really in depth,
but again,
like details.
This is again exterior wise.
Yeah, but there weren't really many interiors to go into, anyways. It was like just lots of outdoor, like
even GTA 5. Locations. It's like not many interiors. You know what I mean? Wish there be more interiors. But while you guys look that up, I'll keep vamping about GTA 6. So the idea is that they're gonna make Vice City, but not only that. There was a leak in 2018, like not too long before Red Dead 2 came out, that it was a credible. Was it a credible leaker? I don't remember, but it was someone had given a source to Inside Gaming, which was the know back then, that there's a code name for the next GTA game called Project Americas, meaning it takes place between two different America, or between North and South America, and that you can travel between the two, and that it will have emphasis on Vice City, like the coast, and so which makes sense because again that's the only world that they haven't really redone yet in the HD trilogy. So that would be cool. And then that they would maybe do like a Brazil type map. And that was really it. Like they didn't really talk about the story or anything like that.
Yeah.
And since then there have been different leaks. Like people are saying like, oh, like the Project Americas thing is real. Like they're just trying to do a Narcos inspired like cartel game, which kind of makes sense because Vice City itself, like GTA Vice City, it's basically Scarface. The movie is or it's basically
It's like the movie.
like it's like their own fan fiction retelling of Scarface, or like their own version of it.
That's
If they were to make Scarface. So, or it's like an allegory to it. So it has a lot to do with drugs and stuff, which makes sense because it's Miami, or it's Miami based.
Yeah.
But Miami also exists in the world. But then also a lot of people are speculating that potentially Carcer City is going to be included in this map.
I don't know.
If you don't know what Carcer City is,
Yeah.
I just learned this out. So, back in like 2003 or 2004, Rockstar had this game called Manhunt. It's very controversial because you basically kill people in very gruesome ways. You play it's like, and it's not open world per se, but it's like it takes place in this place called Carcer City, which is right next to Liberty City according to the lore. And it's like it's in the GTA shared universe.
Yeah.
And it's basically just like this really dangerous area. It's like a Gotham City-esque thing, riddled with crime and gangs and all this stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like the gangs are also tied up with the police and stuff like that. So you play this dude who's on a life sentence, and his job is to kill these members of these gangs and stuff like that until finally you kill like the police higher up. And the ending of the game basically is pretty ambiguous, where it's revealed that the police are in on all this, right?
Yeah.
So people are speculating that potentially they could include Carcer City in the next GTA. And I think that's pretty cool. I mean, the story itself, right? It's like a lawless city, but I don't think it would be good because it's a very serious, like
Very
kind of plot point.
serious,
Like, if you-
almost like dark tone. That's not very consistent with the rest of GTA, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I think it is ambiguous though. Like, what if the game or what if the city was reformed after that happened? A lot better. A lot more people start moving in. Maybe. But I think that's grasping at straws. I don't think that's gonna be real.
Yeah.
I don't think Carcer City's gonna be in.
And
there.
again,
Here's
all
what I
of this
think.
is just rumors and stuff. But I mean, there are some fascinating ideas here. For sure.
Wouldn't it be dope if GTA had all of America?
There,
Yeah,
weren't
but
there,
apparently-
there were jokes or rumors about that, how they wanted to do a
did hear
map
that.
of all of America.
Yeah, definitely not gonna happen. But they did say for Grand Theft
Never
Auto
know.
Online, the leak said that online you can go to Los Santos and what do you call it, wherever the map's gonna be for GTA 6. So that's pretty interesting. And it makes sense that Rockstar is also doing this tropical setting and doing these like maybe having something in South America, because a lot of their stuff in their latest work has some stuff like that. So like the Guarma section and Dead Redemption 2 is just
Yeah.
an island, like a tropical island. So
Yeah.
clearly it's like
What is
they're
that based
doing
on in
something
real
like that.
life? Because I know like all of the sections are based on like
Cuba
states
or something.
Cuba,
Okay, yeah, okay,
Haiti,
that makes sense.
something
Just,
like that.
just
Something like that,
yeah,
okay.
just the Caribbean.
Just because I knew like there were certain like states. in
Just the
games.
Caribbean, yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
No, and I don't know if y'all have, Naimur, I don't know if you've noticed, but the map of Red Dead is like a shrunk down version of the U.S. map.
Yes.
Yeah, it's 5 states
seen that.
almost. But it's like ginormous. Yeah.
No, I mean like the geography.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it kind of does look like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does. Yes.
Because in the center there's like plains, in the south there's like Texas and roads, southeast there's like the swampy stuff.
Yeah.
See, but I don't think you
Southwest is
can-
desert.
Yeah. So a lot of people are saying that maybe they'll include like Red Dead aspects, like like the state of Lemoyne, which is basically Louisiana. Am I incorrect on saying that?
Yeah. No, I just want them to pull
Yeah.
the trigger and say that they're in the same universe.
But they're not going to. So
I know,
that
but I
for a
just
fact.
wish they
What
would.
are in the
I
same
just wish they
universe?
would. Red Dead and GTA.
That GTA and
Oh.
Red Dead.
I
It's
just
like
wish they
100
would.
years in the future.
I just wish they would.
It doesn't make sense.
Like, why wouldn't they?
It restricts you. Why would you? Like, let's say you want to do a backwards
I
thing.
mean, I
It's like,
guess,
why?
but like,
It restricts you. Like, what? There's no point in doing it. Like, there's no use.
mhm.
Because I mean, technically, the Red Dead license, like, they bought it from like Bandai Namco
well, obviously, but they own it now.
or Namco Bandai, whatever. Yeah, but they like this, or Capcom actually. They like own it from Capcom. Like, this is clearly like not like they were just like when they made Red Dead Redemption 1. It was like a thing like, what if we made this? And it took a long time to develop too. Like that game was in development since like 2002,
Yeah.
2004, or not 2003. So clearly that took a long time. I don't even think they were thinking of making it into an open world game until later on.
hmm
because they use it for tech demos and everything.
Yeah.
But we also have to wrap up soon, so I'll just make
Yeah.
mine a little bit briefer. I'm gonna make my own prediction for when we're gonna hear anything about Grand Theft Auto 5 or Grand Theft Auto 6. So, the Super Bowl this year takes place in Tampa Bay. Okay, Florida.
Oh.
Last year it took place in Miami, and we didn't hear anything about GTA. So I don't know. So maybe if I was Rockstar and I had GTA about ready, I would do a reveal at the Super Bowl. But I don't know if that means anything anymore, especially because the NFL is kind of dying or whatever, because it's getting too political. But that's not here nor there.
Oh,
That's what
the
people are
NFL
saying.
believes
That's our
black
hot
people
take
should
right
be
there.
treated like people? What? Holy crap.
Yeah.
Oh my god. This is
So, who
not the
knows?
podcast
I mean, I'm curious.
for hot takes.
Yeah, I'm curious though, because of coronavirus, obviously the Super Bowl is going to have way less attendance than it usually does. So does that mean more people are going to be watching on TV?
Here's what
therefore
I
seeing
think.
the
Can
commercials?
I make my
Maybe it's a
prediction?
great idea. Go ahead.
My prediction: the halftime show is entirely GTA 6 themed.
Yeah,
No, I'm
exactly.
joking. Man,
Yeah, but
Here's my prediction.
I think
Here's my prediction. They're gonna buy.
go ahead, Luke.
They're gonna buy like a time slot for the Super Bowl. People are gonna get super hyped, but then it's just gonna be an ad for
Grand Theft Auto
for
Online.
GTA 5, Xbox Series, or like for the new next generation.
For the next gen series, yeah.
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 Oh my God, that would
So
be so
apparently the GTA 5 enhanced next gen edition is going to come out in 2021. I don't know if they said early 2021, like February.
And by next
Something I might be
gen,
thinking that.
it was released on the 360, right? So it's really the next
Yeah.
gen for the Xbox
Yeah.
Series X or whatever.
Yeah.
And the PS5, I guess.
Granted, though, it was released like right at the end of the 360 and PS3 era. So it was literally like 2 months until the next gen
Right.
consoles were going to come out.
Yeah.
But
Kind of like Cyberpunk.
so yeah, almost exactly like Cyberpunk.
Anyways, go ahead.
So,
Naimur.
So Cyberpunk released after
wrapping
the
thoughts.
next gen consoles came out.
Yeah. Wrapping
Yes,
thoughts.
like-
Obviously, I think they're clearly waiting because I don't think they want to make it a cross-gen game because I don't think they want to be restricted by the
Well,
hardware. I don't even think the hardware's that restrictive, bro. Because Red Dead Redemption 2 runs so well on a
Yeah.
normal Xbox One. Like, I don't think it's like as bad as people think it is. Like, yeah, they're 7-year-old systems, but like, come on, dude. Like, I don't think it's that bad.
Red Dead 2 ran amazingly on my like launch Xbox One.
Exactly. If like Red Dead 2, which is basically, I think Cyberpunk-esque, can run
It
that
looks
well, I
good
don't think
too. It doesn't. It's not like
I know.
it can run. It looks good when it runs. It's not like
Yeah.
barely keeping up. Like yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I digress. I keep saying that. But I think
Hey guys. I
that
think he digresses. Okay, let him
Oh,
digress.
he's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
digressing.
I think that the game will come out in 2020 or not 2021. I think it will be announced. I hope in February of 2021, if not the Super Bowl. I'm hoping. I'm thinking that maybe that'd be. I don't think they're gonna announce it at the Super Bowl. I don't think that's Rockstar style. They're obviously not gonna reveal it. They're just gonna release a trailer because that's what they've done for GTA 5 and Red Dead 2. Maybe I'm saying February, maybe,
What
or
if
preferably or probably after Enhanced Edition comes out for the GTA 5, or maybe like around that time they'll announce it because
Wouldn't-
just to give people hope and then want to play GTA 5. Because if you've looked at the dislikes to likes ratio on when they announced that they were going to bring GTA 5 to the next gen, it's like way more dislikes than likes. 'Cause a lot of people are like,
because nobody
yeah,
gives
and
a
like
shit.
people are just like memeing it.
It's like
Yeah, people are
Skyrim.
memeing
It's like
it.
Skyrim.
We
like-
don't want another
Exactly.
remastered version of Skyrim.
Bethesda keeps on like purchasing slots or whatever at E3. People are like, oh my god, are they gonna announce Starfield or like Fallout 5 for the next Elder Scrolls game? And it's just Skyrim for the PSP.
Skyrim remastered for the 10th time. It's just Jesus.
I'm hopeful though. I think regarding Bethesda, I think these past couple of years about which they've been very cash grabbiness and stuff was to appeal to investors so that they could get bought up by a bigger company.
I hope
Now that
so.
Microsoft has bought them,
I'm crossing my
I'm
fingers.
hoping
have the
they'll
funds.
just go back to making good games.
Yeah.
They have the
Crossing my
funds and they don't have to
finger.
worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope. Do I believe it? No, because Todd Howard has proven to be very scummy these past couple of years with the stuff he's been doing. So we shall see.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
a great way.
I
to
think the
end
game
it.
will come out in I think Grand Theft Auto 2 or 5. I think Grand Theft Auto 6 will come out in 2022, or they're gonna say it's gonna come out in 2022. Delay it like 3 times. It'll come out in 2023 probably, maybe 2024,
Yeah.
and then it will be announced probably in February or whenever the Grand Theft Auto 5 enhanced version comes out. So yeah,
Sounds fun.
Luke, do you want to add it to end it off or no?
No.
Your prediction?
No. Well, my
No, he
prediction,
doesn't have any
my prediction, my real prediction is that they're just gonna post on their Twitter like they did with Red Dead. They're just gonna post on their Twitter like black screen with the gold
Squeen.
Rockstar logo.
Black
With the gold-
screen. All right,
with the
goodbye,
gold-
guys. We gotta go. That's so
Like,
funny.
well,
Yeah, they'll
I'm
probably
saying,
post it on, yeah, up until then, they'll probably post a couple days beforehand, like some photo of just like a gun
well, like
or something.
on
regarding
when
GTA.
they first announced Red Dead 2, a few days before they announced or they posted on their Twitter just the black Rockstar logo with on a red screen.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was
And then they also
foreshadowing.
posted like an image or like a screenshot. It was like, or like, you know that photo of them in the silhouetted, like the
Yeah,
group, the
they
Mandalorian
posted
gang
that too.
silhouetted.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
posted like a day leading up to it. So
Mhm.
let's hope, man. Okay, all right. Well, with that being said, thank you guys for listening. Sorry if we touched too.
Sorry if we spoiled GTA
complicated
6 for you.
topics.
Hope you had.
Just wanted to
hope
say-
you-
just
hope
wanted to
you've already
say-
played it.
Just wanted to say Black Lives Matter. See you later.
That's
No,
an interesting way to
no,
end.
to not end it. But
Guys,
at the end,
I didn't end it.
Also, we did talk about some.
Mm-hmm.
We did talk about some heavy topics. Sorry if if you misconstrued our takes or we said something that potentially offended you. That's not our intent or purpose.
Sure.
We try to be as all inclusive as possible and at least towards more progressive ideals.
So honestly,
the
Luke,
opposite.
thanks for saying that at the end because you reminded us that we. Need
I'm just
to,
saying, if you're mad
Yeah,
at what
thank
I
you.
said just a few minutes ago, stop listening. Just stop.
Yeah, that too, definitely.
Stop.
I
I
don't
mean,
want
it's,
you-
if you're-
you've already
I
given
don't
us.
want
You've already
you-
given
I
us
don't
your
want
advertiser
you-
money. You're an
I don't-
hour and 6 minutes in or whatever.
I don't want you to be
Advertiser
tainted.
money. That's a good one, Daniel.
Yeah, it was a
getting
good joke.
money for this.
Hey,
All right. Anyway,
if I
sorry
buy
if we offended you.
advertisements on this video, you'll
Oh
get
yeah,
my
Luke
money.
pays for the advertisements with the money we make from the advertisement.
His millions. All right.
All right, bye
Thank you
guys.
guys. Love you.
Goodbye.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.